Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel. And in this video I've got a small little FPV quadcopter to show you, and it's in this little plastic box, which is a nice packaging, of course. Let's have a look inside. There you go. Well, as you can see, the quadcopter fits in its packaging with the propellers on. That's very nice. So it's a nice protective case for the quadcopter itself. It has a little bag with a full set of spare propellers, and it has a bag. Oh, here are the white propellers, and a large number of rubber bands, and I'll show you what the rubber bands are for in a minute. It comes with a charger, a quad charger actually. So if you get more Lipos for this quadcopter, you can charge 4 at a time. Here's an output, there are 2 outputs, and here is an output. And over here is the input port for the charger. And it comes with the USB lead to connect that charger up to your computer or anything that has a USB port on it. Very nice. And now we have a better look at the Fire 104. So it's a micro-sized quadcopter. Let's take it out of its box. And there you go. Yeah, I came across this one at Banggood a few weeks back. There is a link in the description if you want to check it out. And I thought it looked very good. Yeah, there's that tiny whoops craze going on, right? But I liked this one far better. It looks not only good, but it looks smartly designed, or well designed in my opinion. So that's why I picked it up. I've done a few flights with it already, and it flies great. Very fun to fly, this quadcopter. Let's see, yeah, brushed motors, 8.5mm motors. It has 55mm propellers, which is the maximum you can fit on this frame. At the front here you see a 650 TVL FPV camera, I think. In this video I'll also show you a flight demo of this quadcopter, by the way, and I'll include an FPV recording, so you can get an impression of the quality of the FPV gear on this quadcopter. Now at the top you see a flight controller board with 4 ESCs integrated into it and a DSM-2 receiver. So if you have a Spectrum radio or a DSM-2 compatible radio, as I have, you can fly this quadcopter, and binding it is super simple. You just hook up the battery and then start your transmitter in binding mode, and you'll be bound. Took me all of 1 tries to bind it, so that worked out very well. Let's see, yeah, the arms are carbon fiber. I think the yellow pieces over here, I'm not completely sure, but they seem to be aluminium. Yeah, it makes for a very light frame, and as you might be able to tell, the actual output ports of the ESCs are used to make the frame more rigid. Very smart design in my opinion. And I'll zoom into the front of the quad now. Over here you see these 3 little holes, which are actually for to adjust the angle of your FPV camera. If you pinch down on the top bar of the camera holder, you can rotate the camera front and back. The minimum angle would be probably around 0 degrees, so it would be pointing horizontally, and you can tilt it all the way back to around 45 degrees, so for a really aggressive FPV flying. So that's, yeah, that's very thoughtful, very smart in my opinion. And I'm not sure if it's visible, but the Lipo, which is already attached, is held on with rubber bands. Yeah, it's a very light solution. So far it has worked for me. I'm still on my first set of rubber bands, so that's nice. And it's much lighter than Velcro, so that's good. And let's see, at the back here you have a USB port. It has a Naze32 flight controller, so you can you tune it yourself. The stock tune is actually pretty good, which is nice of course, but you can tune it to your liking. You can set up flight modes that you like to use. I've added an acro mode with air mode. So in acro mode I'll also always have air mode, which is nice. A lot better than for instance the Nano QX FPV I already have. This is a much better micro size FPV quadcopter. At the rear you have the 5.8 video transmitter antenna over here. Yeah, not circularly polarized, but this one won't get damaged in crashes. And yeah, micro loci connector, I think. And let's see, at the bottom we have ourselves a Lipo. And I can't really see the capacity. I'll put that on screen for you. Alright, that's what it looks like. Now let's see how it flies. Here we go. Alrighty, I've got the Fire 104 bound to my 9XR turnkey radio. I've already got the DVR recording, and I'll have a link to the full recording, by the way, in the description down below. So let's see how it does. It is quite windy. Well, makes for a good test to see if it can handle the wind, I guess. And yeah, if you transition to this quadcopter from a brushless racer, you have to get used to it a little, especially the throttle feel. But yeah, like I mentioned before, the stock PID settings, the stock tune seems quite good. Yeah, it wobbles around a little in the wind, but it's really a nasty wind in the street over here. But other than that, it's super controllable. It flies like a racing quadcopter. Apart from the amount of power you have with a small little brushed quadcopter like this. Definitely fun to fly, this quad, and it looks good doing so. Not unimportant. Yeah, see, I have to get used to the throttle feel a little. Takes a little more juice to keep it off the ground. But once you get used to that, it flies very well. I like the yaw rate and bank and tilt angles as well, pretty good. And yeah, obviously with it's a full Naze32 flight controller, you should be able to do flips as well. Let me set it in acro mode. Let's try a few flips. I haven't done that with this quad yet. There you go. Ooh, that was close to the ground. Was that a double flip? Flips are very fast, and I don't know how well they will be visible to you, because it is a very small quadcopter, of course. Okay, punch. Yep, double flip. Cool stuff, and very controllable. Very, very nice. Now let me switch to a part of the FPV recording now, so you can get an impression of that as well. Like I mentioned before, there's also a link to the full recording in the description of this video. So far, I really like it. And if the camera is any good, it should be fun to fly in FPV as well. Oh, it does very well with flips. Yeah, that's when the lack of weight really comes into play, doesn't it? Cool stuff, man. I'm getting flight times of around 6 minutes, by the way. And what else have I forgotten? Oh yeah, it has a 200 milliwatt FPV transmitter, which is pretty good. I have not tested the range yet, but the control range seems more than adequate. Oops, crash. Okay. Yeah, thanks for watching for now, for this show and tell slash initial review of this Fire 104. One more thing I should add is that I did have one propeller that had a tendency to fly off mid-flight. So that propeller didn't come out of the mold completely correct. So yeah, maybe order up a set of spare propellers so you have more of a chance to get good propellers. They aren't expensive, so. And that's it for my first video on this Fire 104. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.